Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome. I am Paula Fontana, Vice President of Strategic Programming Initiatives with the National Black MBA Association. Welcome to September and welcome to Get Linked. So the mission of the National Black MBA Association is to provide educational, wealth building, and growth opportunities for Blacks throughout all stages of their careers as students, professionals, and entrepreneurs. We provide this access to opportunity and access to our corporate partners both year-round as well as at our national conference, which is quickly approaching, and I will share a little bit more about that at the end of the program. So as you prepare for conference and on-campus recruiting, a key success factor is ensuring that your messaging and your personal brand marketing is on point. So you probably have started working on your elevator pitch, perfecting your accomplishment-based resume, and polishing off that cover letter. But do not forget about an important tool in your toolkit, your LinkedIn profile. Joining us today are representatives from one of our most valued partners, LinkedIn, to share with you how you can make the most of your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn, take it away.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that introduction, Paula. I'm so happy to be here with everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am going to share my screen so that everyone gets to know Brian and myself well. So bear with me while I get that done.
And hello, everyone. This is Brian here. We are so excited to be connecting with you all today. And as Emily pulls up her screen and gets ready for the presentation, if you will put in the chat what HBCU you are representing or what other school you may be representing today, we would love to see it.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Brian. I am representing good old Lincoln University of Pennsylvania, the first degree granting HBCU in the fold. And my name is Emily Ataidwe. I am a senior customer success manager here at LinkedIn, meaning that my day-to-day, I work with recruiters on talent strategy. So I talk to them about what kind of talent they're looking for, what skills they're looking for, and how to use LinkedIn to fill in those roles. My other job is partnerships lead for our Black Inclusion Group, or BIG. So with the Black Inclusion Group, we look to partner with organizations such as National Black MBA Association to see how we can help better our community. Passing over to you, Brian.
Thank you so much. And I just want to call out, I see some Howard students or alumni here, North Carolina A&T, more Howard School of Business. So keep them coming. My name is Brian Spence, and I'm representing the illustrious Elizabeth City State University here in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, Viking Pride. And I am a senior program manager here at LinkedIn, and my role is just that. I am responsible for strategizing on our HBCU efforts at LinkedIn. So I'm so glad that we have the opportunity of speaking with you today to really talk to you about how to really utilize LinkedIn and rock your LinkedIn profile. So I see FAMU here too. So we're going to just continue on with the presentation.
Perfect. All right. Before we start, it's LinkedIn. We're here to get you connected. Let's connect. On the page, you see both of our profile pictures. You see our QR codes. Go ahead and scan those codes. Connect with Brian and I. That way you don't have to remember how to spell our names, how to type in our names. Come back to this later. If you scan these codes, you'll be able to connect with us. And as a tip, when you're using the mobile app, you're able to bring in this QR code. So in your search bar, you see this nice little square image right here. Just click on it and your QR code option will be there for you. All right, so today's agenda. We are getting to know, we're going to get you guys to know LinkedIn, talking through how to get noticed with your LinkedIn profile, how to launch your career by networking and through your community, and how to launch your career by learning new skills. So where are we now? The world is changing, right? Competition is stiff. Students and recruiters are facing the most competitive job market in history, especially as companies start to ramp up post-COVID shutdowns. Headcount is open. They're looking for talent where there may have been a slowdown with hiring. New skills are emerging, right? Whether they're soft skills, harder skills, they're emerging, and LinkedIn provides a way for you to learn those new skills. Disruption, we see this every day. Amazon now has your cashierless checkout option. You have AI automating some of the work that humans otherwise do. So with these skills, this disruption in technology happening, the job market is becoming a little bit more challenging right now. So this is where
Emily.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
Nope, I was just gonna say, we're able to see your presentation view right now. So if you could switch views so that way everyone can see the large slide.
Sorry.
No worries. And thank you everyone in the audience for letting us know that. We want to make sure y'all can see these gems that we're about to drop.
Indeed. My apologies there, guys.
And as M is changing the view, I just want to recognize some of the other HBCUs. So we have St. Aug, we have Hampton alumni, we have FAMU. I'm loving to see it. We even have the Clorox company here from Inclusion and Diversity Committee. Welcome. Thank y'all for joining as well.
Okay, are you guys able to now see the right presentation? Or do you still see my notes? Let's play from current slide. What do you guys see?
It looks correct to me. Everybody see the right way? Yep, good to go, good to go.
Perfect.
Thank you. And
Technology will get us every single time. All right. Thank you for that, guys. Bear with us here. Moving on to our mission, LinkedIn's mission, to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. We talked about these technology-based disruptions. We talked about new skills and competition. LinkedIn is here to definitely help you guys through that. So, students on LinkedIn, what can LinkedIn do for you? Help connect you to the professionals of the world, right? If you're interested in a company, go to that company's page. Look at what we call the life tabs. Certain companies have that tab. Look at what that culture looks like. Every once in a while, they'll highlight employees. Feel free to connect to those employees to ask them any questions, set up some coffee chats, and so on. 2, stay informed through professional and industry news, right? Your mentors, follow them on LinkedIn. What changes are they making? Are there any innovative studies that they're working on? Is there anything new there? And also follow companies that you're interested in, so that when you start talking to them or their employees or recruiters as they reach out, you know what's going on with that company. And get hired, right? I work on the hiring side of the business, meaning that I work with companies that have those tools to get you hired. Build out that profile. Look at those job descriptions, have those keywords in there so that your profile is noticed and is getting pushed up so that you can get hired. All right, the power of LinkedIn. We talked about getting you hired, getting you networking, and getting you going. What is the power of LinkedIn? Currently, we have 774 million members. 39 plus million of those members are students and recent grads. There are 58 million companies on LinkedIn, and 15 million plus of those have open roles. About 120,000 schools are on LinkedIn with 30,000 or more education-related LinkedIn groups. So look at those groups, join the groups. There are some HBCU groups, there are some school-specific groups. There are some organization-specific groups. So go and join those groups and learn from your peers. So Brian is going to talk us through get noticed with your LinkedIn profile. Over to you, Brian.
Thank you so much, Emily. I appreciate it. So hopefully you all are ready. I am assuming that everyone already has a LinkedIn profile. So hopefully we at least have that foundation here, but I'm going to be talking to you about how to really level up that LinkedIn profile, how to really utilize your LinkedIn platform for your next role or your next opportunity or your next connection. So as Emily has here, we are going to start with the basics. So you want to make sure that you have a photo on your LinkedIn profile. We know that profiles with a photo get 21 times more profile views than those that do not. And in a world where we have become, pretty much completely virtual for the most part, it's really important that you have an opportunity to connect with someone and connect a face, with the person that you're speaking with. It also helps to identify those that may be real authentic profiles versus those that are not. Also, can everyone still hear me? Because my screen went out. Everyone still good?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. You want to make sure that your profile represents you. It can be a professional headshot, but it doesn't have to be. You can use your iPhone or a Samsung or whatever cameras that you may have, but you do want to make sure that it is a high resolution photo and that it has good lighting. And we at LinkedIn have also helped you because we have added the option for some LinkedIn photo filters to really polish that photo as well. Moving forward to the next one. All right, we have recording your name. So we have the option now to record your name on the LinkedIn platform. This is something that you can only do on your mobile app. So you can't go to your computer to do it, but you can definitely use your mobile app to record your name. Emily, don't you have your name recorded on your profile? Oh, hopefully you're still there. I think she does.
I am still here. Yes, I do have my name recorded on my profile. Again, my last name is Ataiduet. It's hard for folks to pronounce. To kind of break down that barrier that may hinder them from reaching out or be scared to reach out, I did record my name to make it easier for anyone reaching out to me.
Perfect. Thank you for being a great example. And just to let you all know, you can't take your time, but the limit is 10 seconds for recording your name on your profile. And when you do so, just some rules of thumb or just some suggestions is that you should limit your background noise, speak slowly and clearly, which is something I always have to remember because I naturally talk fast. And then hold the phone like 4 inches from your mouth when you record. That helps also reduce that background noise. Now, moving forward, we have adding your pronouns. Displaying your pronouns help you show as your authentic self on LinkedIn. Our research has shown that pronouns are core to our identity and how we want to be seen and lets others know how to refer to you. Just some quick stats, 70% of our job seekers believe it's important that recruiters and hiring managers know their gender pronouns, and 72% of hiring managers agree and believe it shows respect. It is an optional field at the top of your profile to add those pronouns, and the feature is available in select countries, but as it relates to you all with HBCUs and all of us, we all have that opportunity of adding our pronouns. All right, next, we are going to creating your cover story, another opportunity to really shine and stand out. I have about 9 years of recruiting experience, and every time I meet someone says, "Whoa, how do I stand out on LinkedIn?" or "How do I stand out for my resume?" Right? This is one way to do that by creating your cover story on the platform. This is another option that is only available through mobile, but it allows you to introduce yourself, the work that you do, talk about some of the work that you have done or some of the work that you're passionate about, and or your expertise. This allows you to bring your profile to life through a short 30-second video that pretty much introduces you and tells your story. So again, remember, you can only access and record that on mobile, and you can do so by pulling up your profile on LinkedIn Mobile, tapping your profile photo, and then tapping view or edit cover story. So again, it allows you just to show your personality, to be conversational, and to show excitement. Again, in this virtual state that we're all in, where we're connecting virtually through several platforms all of the time, this is just an opportunity for someone to really see who you are. So I can see who Emily really is. Like, what is she really like? How does she really talk? Is she really passionate about the work that she says she is on her profile? It allows you to really speak about that and show that in 30 seconds. So moving forward, we also have
All right, before we
drafting
go
this-
on to the next slide, I also want to quick call out here, right? As we talk about using those that 30-second video to tell your story, I tell my companies and my recruiters the same thing. Again, if you go to that live tab, you will always see a banner. I always tell them, put that video up there that's showcasing your culture. Once someone sees a moving image, it lets them feel you out a little bit better. They get to know your personality. They get to feel like they're with you. They're talking to you. They're in the same space with you. So definitely great to have that up there.
Great advice. Thanks, Emily. And I will say that I'm not really a good example of having that cover story with that 30 seconds, because even though I present all the time, I really just don't like to talk. But for those of you who may be like me, who are really introverts, you can also utilize the summary option, right? So this is the about section where you will be able to add your summary, and you can think of it as your elevator pitch. So just as we talked about with that 30-second intro there before, it should include an introduction to you, and also highlight your accomplishments and aspirations. You want to keep it short and sweet, and no need to list all of your career accomplishments, because you have plenty of other spots on the page or on the platform to be able to do that. But you want to also talk about like those experience things that you have, and just the things that you want to highlight, right? So for those of you who may be thinking like, okay, back when we used to always talk about like, you should have a cover letter, to accompany your resume. This is your quick cover letter. Doesn't mean it should be a whole page. Doesn't mean you should have 3 paragraphs, none of that, but just a way to highlight what the person is going to see through your profile, and as a way to really grab their attention and get them to want to know more. So again, feel free to highlight your unique talents and how you want to contribute to the organization or to whatever passion project you have. And also make sure that, it is authentic. So you don't want to talk about things that don't really represent you or don't really represent what you want to do or where you want to go. This is your opportunity of really showcasing who you are.
So again, this is Emily, I work with recruiters all day, person stepping in.
Yes.
Stay authentic, but if you can add some keywords in there that will help you maybe get better notice for a role as their recruiters are creating searches, add those in there as well, but make them sound authentic. Sometimes words just sound like that words. You just threw words together to show up better in a search string. But if you can drop some words in there, again, as recruiters are searching, they're looking at your whole entire profile. So be sure to drop those in there as well.
Thanks, Em. And we will get into that a little further in the presentation too, but those keywords that she mentioned are also known as transferable skills. So now that's something that is in the industry that we talk about all the time. And again, with my experience being a recruiter, that is something that we actually search for in recruiting. We are able to use Boolean searches to search for specific keywords to find people in our searches. So definitely make sure you have those keywords, but don't think that it's a thesaurus and you can just list them all out. You want to, be unique and be really crafty in the way that you present that information, right? All right, and then adding your education. So of course you want to add your school or university, your major and your degree. So it's important to do that because sometimes, we are looking for specific information, like we want to see what are the other things that you did while getting your education, or, this is also an opportunity for you to add your academic awards or your honors, or even like your clubs and organizations. I know that I am a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and that's something that, some people look for, right? This really creates an opportunity for those to be able to connect with you. And as people are reaching out, like sometimes it's cold, right? But this allows them to be able to find a really space or a opportunity to connect with you on a personal level in their communication. So definitely add all that in there as well. And nothing is too small. So if you have leadership positions from your college education or in volunteer opportunities or nonprofits, definitely add that in as well. And Quincy put in the chat, any Greek members in the house? 06? Nope. Okay, I see some bras. So very good. All right. As you all continue to represent your fraternity and sorority, we're going to move forward, and I'm going to tell y'all about the work experience. So college days swiftly pass. That's what we say as alphas, right? And what I want to talk to you is about this work experience. Experience is your opportunity to tell your professional story and talk about your accomplishments within each of the roles that you've had. A great way to showcase your experience is to write it in a short paragraph form rather than bullet points. Now, for that part that I just said there, I think that is up to personal preference. So I know that when I was going through my MBA, we talked about really writing succinctly, right? And then on a resume, we talk about, making sure that it's short and sweet. So if you are able to write succinctly in a paragraph form, then by all means do that, because it will allow you to also add some of those transferable skills. However, if it's too lengthy and you think somebody might just skip past it because it looks too wordy, definitely use those bullet points as well. Also, when you're talking about your information, you want to add any data that you can, because data also adds to your experience and adds to the actual impact that you've had. So talk about that. Use action verbs, talk about the leadership experiences you've had, and even some of the downfalls, right? So, sometimes we have experiences that were not something that we call success, but it's really our experiences that we've learned from and have been able to move forward from. So, it's also an opportunity to talk about that as well, skillfully. And then if you work at a startup company or a smaller company that isn't as well known, give a brief introduction to the company before detailing your experience. And last, again, as I mentioned, I just want to reiterate that it's important to talk about what you did in your role, and it's even better to showcase the impact that you've had, the results you've delivered, and the change that you created, because we are all looking to be change makers, having a growth mindset, and every company is looking for, also those transferable skills and what you're going to add to that organization or company. Anything you want to add there, Emily?
Nope.
Nope. Good to go.
All right.
Perfectly. Nice. Well, we're going to move forward in adding your volunteer experience. So, again, experience is your opportunity volunteer experience is your opportunity of talking about those things that you do outside of your everyday life. So I know Emily mentioned what her day job was, and then she also mentioned, her other title, which is also part of her day job because it's here at LinkedIn, but it's really something that she's volunteering to do in that leadership role within our employee resource group. So anything you're doing, anything that you're using your time for is valuable. And I encourage each of you to make sure that you're not discounting the work that you're doing out in the community, or the work that you're doing virtually, and the impact that you're having on others, because ultimately that's what helps really just shape our jobs and the impact that we have. And every experience is a good experience as it relates to moving forward and helping others. So again, make sure you add those volunteer experiences in there, those accomplishments, as well as any interest that you may have. Then we're going into adding your skills. Thank you, Em. Adding skills to showcase what you are great at. Adding at least 5 or more skills can get you up to, I think, like 17 times more profile views than not having skills. Professionals also search key skills across LinkedIn, so it's another great way to be found by the network. And that's that Boolean search that I was talking about, giving you the recruiter insider in terms of how we kind of create those Boolean searches to find people. So having those skills there is a great way to do that. And then remember that you are in full control of those skills. So you get to choose what order they get displayed in and who endorses you for what. And I'm going to pause as I say that, because I want you all to know that just like your resume, just like the details that you put underneath each experience, the first things that are under there are going to be the things that people are most likely going to see, because they may not read all of your skills. They may not read all of those bullet points. So anything that's most important or really highlights the overall impact is what you want to have first. And also, you also get to control what skills are featured on your profile and which ones don't. So for instance, say that someone says you are great at, social media branding. And you're like, not quite great at that. And I don't want anyone to search me for that. So you have the opportunity of actually removing that from your profile if that's something you don't want to be seen, or something you want to be highlighted lower in that skill list. So make sure that your skills are there, because as recruiters, that is something else we can look for. Anything you want to add, Emily, on the side in terms of the work that you do?
In terms of skills, yes. This is actually something real time that I'm dealing with one of my clients. LinkedIn has the ability for you to take certain skills assessments. What that means is you take the assessment, you have 2 opportunities to pass, one sitting, make sure it's one sitting, otherwise it will time out, we will fail you. With these skills assessments, you get a certificate to your LinkedIn profile. So let's say it's Microsoft Word, it's PowerPoint if you're using PowerPoint, it's Excel, If you're coding, it's maybe AWS or anything like that. If you take that skills assessment, you will have that badge added to your LinkedIn profile. And that actually shows recruiters that you are indeed skilled in what you say you are skilled in. I think at the moment we have over 100 skills that you can take assessments for. I'm working with a recruiter that's like, I really want someone that is skilled in AWS, with using AWS technology. And she's like, all right, I'm just going to start sending out these links for skills. You can proactively take the skills assessment so that recruiters know that you're good, you've passed the exam, you're better than 70% of LinkedIn members that have taken this skills assessment, and they will prioritize you in terms of hiring if it's a skill that they really require or maybe even desire.
That's good. And thank you for mentioning that, because you actually gave me the opportunity of looking up our website and that resource that we have that can really match the skills that are on your profile with job titles. And if there are certain opportunities that you're interested in, it really will allow you to kind of have a skill gap analysis and show you what skills are not represented on your profile, ones you may need to work on as you move forward. So I'm going to drop that in the chat, and then we're going to move forward with you, Emily.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Brian. Reminder, our QA is open. I see we have 2 questions in there. Please, 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 any questions you have, shoot them over to Brian and I. All right, let's talk about launching your career via network and community. So you are a recent college grad, you are a senior in college, you are a grad student. Start by mapping your future out with our Alumni Tool. Again, we have a large number of schools on LinkedIn, and there is a tool when you go to their page. Again, right here, you can click on alumni and you can look up who the alumni of those schools are. You can search by company, you can search by name if you like. And if there's a company that you're interested in, feel free to reach out to that person. If there is a title that you want to move into, you're looking at moving into management, you eventually want to be a chief of staff. Look up if anyone holds that chief of staff title and reach out to them to see if there is a way that you guys can connect, coffee chat, and again, have that person mentor you. So networking advice. What networking advice do we have? 1, break out of your silo. Your close friends are your close friends. And I know you guys had plans to do a lot of things together. And, you know, I'm still very good friends with my college friends. We're like, we're going to start this company together. We're going to do very well, but try to break out of that silo as well. Don't wait until you need a job to start building your network. Start early. If you are about to graduate, start looking at professors, see what connections they have and how maybe they can make those intros. Share your goals with friends and family and coworkers, and again, any mentors that you have to see what they know and how they may be able to help you break out of your comfort zone, right? Comfort can lead to kind of being a little bit complacent. Be sure to break out of that comfort zone. So also nurture your current network. Depending on your ties with current and past mentors, professors, you will have an increased value within that network. Again, nurture that, connect. I still have, I graduated many moons ago. Let's say we're coming on a couple of decades and a few years. But there's still professors that I connect with. There's still professors that I get on the phone with. There's a professor whose child works at the UN. My mom's been at the UN since time immemorial. So he's like, hey, can you connect my son to your mom? And he uses me as part of his network to do that when his son needs a mentor. Or I reach out and say, hey, we have internships going on at LinkedIn. Do you have any great students that you're able to send my way? And I reach out to him like that. Or, hey, I'm trying to publish an article. Do you know a great route that I can take? So I nurture even 20-year-old relationships. My old managers that I have great relationships with, I reach out. Hey, let's grab coffee. Let's see, I'm doing this. Where can you provide advice? Where can you help me grow? So nurture that network and build a board of advisors. This is something I cannot advocate for enough. Your board of advisors should have your advocate, the strategic end, and your subject matter expert. Your advocate knows you on a personal level, right? As you're starting out, this could be a close friend or even a family member. And they're your trusted sounding board. You can bounce your craziest ideas off of them and they will give you honest, sound feedback. You can say, hey, I want to build a rocket ship in my backyard. That will tell you that may not be a good idea because ABC, or yep, I know someone that will be able to help you do that. They are your advocate. Your strategic end, you're a well-connected individual. This could be an advisor, a professor. If you are working with career agencies, make sure you make friends with people that are going to help you make those connections. And the last is your subject matter expert. They will offer superior insight on a specific industry. They can give you an unbiased opinion, right? And as we're talking about LinkedIn, and as you're joining those groups that we talked about, as you're looking at your alumni network, as you are reaching out, you have that in-mail feature and you're in-mailing folks, reach out to that subject matter expert that might be in the field that you're looking to go into. All right, and then follow the companies you're interested in, right? So that you know what's going on with those companies. What's new? Do they have any leadership changes? Do they have any products coming out? How are they innovating? The more you know about these companies, and secret from someone that works with recruiters, the more you engage with these companies, you're liking their posts, you're following their pages, you're connected with their employees. This is something that will help you get recruited, wink, wink. There are features that kind of showcase that. So when I'm talking to my recruiters, I'm like, hey, are you looking at folks that are engaged with your talent brand, right? These folks already know who you are. They know what's going on with your company. Reach out to them because they already want to work for you. So now in reverse, I tell you that same thing. Companies you want to work for, follow their pages, engage with their employees, engage with their content. If it's something that's worth resharing, reshare that post. It will definitely help you get noticed and build that network. All right, over to you, Brian.
Thank you. Great gems there. Also, explore those jobs and set your search preferences. So something that Emily kind of hinted to is like on this recruiter inside, right? So some of the things that we look at. So as you talk about connecting with people and being persistent, right? And you know, being passionate, you want to also create these search results or these search preferences in the job section of LinkedIn. Because as the old adage says, the early bird gets the worm. So if you create a search string, right? So say you want to work in tech and you want to work at LinkedIn and you're looking for a specific job with a specific salary, right? You can create a search, you can use our search filters to create that search preference. So that way, whenever the job comes up, it will alert you. And the great thing about being earlier on when a new job is posted for any company is that you're more likely to get seen because, you know, when someone posts a new job, it's top of mind, like they're not already working with other candidates or prospects in the process. So, you know, you want to be early if you can for any role, because as time goes by and as the old posting gets older and older and older, it's less likely that you may be considered for that role because of, you know, the process itself. So that's also something else I want you all to know from a recruiter insider, is that the earlier you are into the process, the better it is for you. But that means you have to also be ready. So you can't get ready when the position comes up, you have to already be ready, okay? All right, so moving forward.
Hold on, let me give you another, again,
okay.
I said I was going to drop the gems.
Yes, drop
So your recruiters, when they post these jobs, as Brian inferred, they are looking for those early applicants. If you see a job that's about 30 days old, they may still be looking for those applicants, but come back to that company page again, you may see that job reposted. That means that that job has not been filled, right? So let's say it was a senior CSM position at LinkedIn, that's my title, and 30 days, boom, it disappeared. 2 days later, I see it pop up. That means that that job has not been filled. So even if you no longer see that job, the job looks old, keep tracking it. If you see it reposted, that means that they're still looking for great talent.
I love it. I love it. Now to showing you're open to work. I know that some people may have some reservations about this, but let me tell you about how this works. If you are looking for a new opportunity, we allow you to set your job preferences on the LinkedIn platform. To add this, what you're going to do is you're going to go to your profile, you're going to click on the Open To button and then select Finding a New Job. Then you will have the ability to specify the job that you're searching for, pinpoint locations that you're interested in, and even select like your job type for a full-time, remote, or part-time, right? You can also get specific about your start date so your community knows how quickly you want to land your next opportunity. And there's all sorts of other options. However, here's what I want you to keep in mind. There are two ways to share this with your community. One way is to share it with all LinkedIn members, and that means that you will automatically have that green open to work stripe added to your profile photos so others can instantly see that you're open to opportunities. And the second is if you want to share it with recruiters only. What this does is this privately shares only to recruiters, and it won't add the open to work green photo stripe to your profile photo. So it can be tough finding a new job, but know that your LinkedIn community is always there to help, especially when they know you need it. So again, there's two ways of doing it where you can really publicize it to the whole entire network, or the second one where you only publicize it to recruiters and you don't have that open to work tagline or a stripe, if you will, on your photo.
If I may add a little bit here as well.
Please.
With open to work, I know, again, hesitation. If it's open to only recruiters, can recruiters at my company see that I'm open to work, right? Are they going to dime me out to my manager or whoever and say, yep, you know, Emily is looking for a new job. I saw that in her, as I was conducting a search. No. What open to work does is it automatically filters out anyone in your current company's network. So your colleagues, managers, recruiters, everyone is filtered out. Another helpful hint, if you do mark yourself as open to work, this is something that recruiters on their end, if they're using LinkedIn, consider low-hanging fruit, right? These are folks that are already raising their hand and saying, it's time, I'm looking for a role. So they are able to filter you in and prioritize you if your background matches with what they're looking for. So definitely, if you're open to work, whether you want to keep that private or share it with a LinkedIn network, be sure to turn that on.
Thank you, Em. Next, as Emily mentioned earlier about following companies, you also have the opportunity to follow influencers. So these are people who may post great content or may have great connections or a large network to other people. Definitely follow those people because they're not only going to encourage you and motivate you through their content, but they're also going to be a conduit or connection to some of the people that you may want to also follow and learn from. So you can customize that content at the website shown, but make sure you follow not only companies, but influencers as well. And then moving forward, join groups and build your network. So there are lots of groups on LinkedIn as well that you're able to join. What you want to do is this allows you to be able to expand that network and talk with people that have commonalities to you, right? Or similarities or things that they're interested in, which you may be interested in. A lot of times joining that group could really connect you with your next opportunity. So feel free to join those groups and meet new professionals and also talk about your career interests in those groups as well.
Helpful hint, recruiters hide out in those groups as well to find talent.
Yes. So things to remember with LinkedIn groups. 1, listen and learn. So you don't always have to be the person creating the content in the group or responding to someone. You can just listen in and collect information and data and figure out like what's going to be beneficial to you. Also, you can demonstrate your knowledge as well. So if you are a thought leader or if you have something that's relevant to the group as a whole, that is a place for you to go ahead and share that link, to share that comment, to share that statement, to ask that question to that body of group or a group of individuals. And that begins to really create you as an influencer and allow others to see you and allow you to shine. what that also does is grows your network. So something I did not mention earlier, as we are preparing for the National Black MBA Conference, for those of you that may be going in person, or say you may just meet someone, right? On your mobile app, if you pull up your LinkedIn mobile app and you are on the newsfeed page, right beside the search box, there's a little square there. If you click on that square, there's an option for you to scan a QR code or to show a QR code. What that is a direct link to your profile. So instead of like saying, hey, how do you spell your name? Or is this you? You can directly like scan someone's QR code and it'll take you directly to them and they're able to accept it from there. So there are multiple ways to grow your network at LinkedIn on our platform, because that is what we're all about, right? So then insider tips, again, keep it professional. Everyone can do your full profile. Stay up to date with group conversations in your LinkedIn newsfeed, and view others' professional profiles to see what groups they participate in, what commonalities you may have, and also connect with them on a personal level, right? It doesn't have to stay there within that group. And now I'm gonna hand it over to you, Emily, to talk about how to launch your career, new skills.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Brian. So launching your career and new skills. Equip yourself with the most on-demand skills with LinkedIn Learning. There are some schools that provide LinkedIn Learning for free for their students. We unfortunately don't have a comprehensive list of those schools, but what you can do is when you log into LinkedIn Learning, and we're going to send some follow-up materials with links to all of this stuff. Once you log in, if you try to log in with your EDU email address, you should be able to see whether or not you have full access. There are schools, again, that purchase the licenses. However, you have a 30-day learning trial, right? You can log in there. You can learn something as basic as Excel, right? How do I use Excel? Ooh. How do I VLOOKUP and search and the search functions, and how do I create formulas? To, all right, I know how to do that. How do I become a great program manager? What are the foundations and fundamentals of program management? How do I become a great recruiter? Or how do I interview, right? Interview skills and so on. These are courses that are all within LinkedIn Learning. So you can go in there, whether you're building up your soft skills or you are kind of strengthening your knowledge of other skills that may be useful within the industry. And again, Brian and I are going to send out more material for you guys after this call so that you have access to, again, what are those skills that we're looking for, and how do you network and work within those? So LinkedIn Learning, great for you. We started off by telling you it's a competitive landscape, and we're finishing off by telling you, but we're here to help you build those skills to make you become competitive and successful. All right, the time has come for us to hear from you. This is our question and answer portion, and we're going to bring in the lovely Quincy over here to see what questions we have from the group.
So great gems that you all were dropping already. That's why people had a number of different questions coming back to get more clarity or to find out more information. So one of the questions came, once you connect and meet with someone from LinkedIn, what are some great tips on how to stay connected or reconnect?
I love it. I'll start there. To answer the first part of the question, what are some ways to stay connected, I believe it was, is to be consistent. So you want to be able to not only connect with people, but to grow those relationships. And actually connecting with them on LinkedIn, scanning their profile, connecting with them, like pushing the connect button literally, is just that first step. Now, the opportunity you have next is to learn more about them and their experience and their skills and their journey to where they are, or even those commonalities, as we talked about earlier, some of those organizations or groups that they may be a part of. And those are conversation topics that you can have with a person on LinkedIn, and you can search through that and kind of manage that. Now, some people are very, very organized where they're like, okay, I don't want to connect with somebody and then I never connect with them again for years, right? What you can do, some people who are very organized, this is what they do. they actually put it in their phone. So like, hey, I'm connecting with Quincy today, and he is the dynamic program manager at LinkedIn. I want to just check on him again around the holidays, say happy holidays, and to see like what's new with him. You can put in your phone to connect with Quincy on LinkedIn, right? So you can kind of create your own like CRM, if you will, to make sure that you are nurturing those relationships. And then of course, if y'all are part of other groups, like when you see his name, or if you're looking on our LinkedIn platform, it'll share updates, like when Emily may have an update of an advancement here at LinkedIn, right? You can congratulate them, and that is also an opportunity for you to connect with them on that, or with a work anniversary or a birthday. So I said a whole lot there, but again, there's tons of ways to stay connected and really build and grow that relationship.
Perfect. If I may add to that, you have that in-mail feature, right? The in-mail feature allows you to DM, if you will, folks to comment on any post that they may have had. We talked about work anniversaries or promotions or work changes. Also feel free to reach out like, hey, I see you updated, you created an update around something great that happened to you at work. Congratulations. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you got there or what you did? If you have some time, I'd love to set up, a coffee chat. Don't be afraid, right? Fear is what holds, I suffer from it all the time, is what holds us back quite a bit. Use that in-mail, reach out. And once they see you reaching out, it may take a while to respond, but it goes a long way towards building that network and having that person know who you are. Like, comment on their posts as well.
Absolutely. And just to add to that, Emily, I also want to say, the quote says, people will forget what you say and what you do, but they won't forget like how you make them feel. Another way to use that in-mail is to also keep yourself on track. So I am one where either I'm at one extreme or the other. Either I remember your name and like everything about it, or I remember your face. It's like one or the other. It's not like both. It's not in the middle. So for me, another thing you can do, like when you're first connecting with someone, is to say, like, for instance, today, when y'all are connecting with us, you can say, hey, Emily, thank you so much for presenting today about the Rock Your Profile. I learned about this. I'm looking forward to us staying connected. So one thing about that, what that does on the low, right? That insider tip is that you have now documented, one, the date that y'all met, how you met, and the impact that had. So when it's time for you to reconnect, that message is still there. And you'll know that, oh yeah, I met Emily when she presented through National Black MBA Association for the Rock Your Profile. And then that will keep you on too. So you can check in like, hey, Emily, how's everything going at LinkedIn? Have you done any more Rock Your Profile since? That's a way just to really be able to connect again organically.
Yep, perfect.
And I have a follow-up, right? I think something that happens also is like you'll reach out even with in-mail and you won't get a response. Ooh. So do you all have any recommendations or feedback on, that kind of scenario?
As I mentioned, y'all, I am going on 9 years of recruiting experience, and I, as much as I love LinkedIn and as much as I love social media, I am guilty of that depending on the season, right? So there'll be opportunities where you will connect with someone and they will immediately get back to you. However, there's also times where you will connect with someone and they won't see it, right? Or they may not respond right then. So I'm going to speak based on two trains of thought here. First is the first one where they're going to get back to you immediately. Sometimes I'm going to speak about myself as a recruiter. If I'm in time and I have the opportunity of connecting with everyone right now, I'm going to go ahead and connect. And like you may say, thank you so much for something. I would like, thank you so much for joining. It was great. I really enjoyed it. And you may say something else back and I may or may not respond. That is not because I don't have an interest in connecting with you. Sometimes it's just timing. With recruiting seasons for recruiters specifically, the fall season is really, really busy. So a lot of times we're trying to really stay on top of our messages and make sure we connect with people. But feel free to follow back up again. It's not nothing negative. Sometimes it's just bad timing or an overlook on our part as we're trying to keep everything up. And then on the other side where you may connect and they may not see it, that does not mean that they're not interested in connecting with you. So again, feel free to shoot them a message or an in-mail. Use that in-mail credit to connect with them to say, hey, I tried to connect with you. I met you here and would love to connect about this. Here's my information, and move forward from there. Emily, anything else you want to add about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be discouraged if someone doesn't respond to you. Again, follow up if they don't respond. Continue engaging with them. if you haven't seen a response in a while, don't be afraid. Reach out to other folks as well that might be in that industry or you may want to connect with, but definitely don't get discouraged.
Love it.
Thank you for that. Something that another question that came up that is similar lines, a little bit different, but one of the questions was, most experts only want to connect with candidates that have experience. What is the best method in keeping their attention and hopefully moving the conversation into a mentorship?
I would say that it's more important. So one thing I used to say all the time, and something I've learned since being in corporate America, is that it's better to have a learn it all than it is to have a know it all. So kind of addressing that comment there. Yes, us as recruiters, those in the industry, we are looking for people with experience to fill the roles. However, that does not mean that we may not have another role that may, fit better for you, or that we, may not have the opportunity of connecting with you on another level. So if your interest is in mentorship, be upfront in that. Say, hey, Emily, thank you so much for presenting today. I would love to learn more about your career journey. And if you have the opportunity, I would love to connect with you in a mentor capacity, so that way you can teach me more about what to do as I move forward and plan for my next steps in my career.
That's great advice. And as a reminder, Brian and I's QR codes are up here. Connect with people all the time. And the QR code in the middle, that's the survey for today's session. Be sure to take that survey. Your feedback is valuable to us and National Black MBA Association. So please be sure to fill out that survey. In terms of not having experience, don't let that deter you from finding a mentor, right? That's how you find that experience. Be upfront. Hey, I'm looking to strengthen my skills here, or hey, I'm looking to grow. Reference something in their profile or their past that resonates with you. I see you started out as, ABC, you started out as an intern here. I'm looking to kind of get my feet wet through internships, or I'm looking to grow here, and reference something within that profile. You catch members' attention when you reference something that is in their profile or that is relevant to themselves. So be sure, I tell recruiters that all the time, don't send out a blanket in mail. People know when you're spamming them. So go ahead and reference a commonality or something within the profile to capture that person's attention. So that goes for members and folks looking for mentors. Same thing goes for companies that are reaching out to us as well.
Thank you for that. Anything else, Brian, that you had to add?
Nope. I was just
okay.
Stating that I loved, the comment she made, and I do want to mention that. So I'm not a culprit of this question here. I have my network up right now. So if you all are connecting with us, I am accepting in real time, because I don't want you all talking about me later.
Got you. Another question came earlier in the chat was, can you only publicize your work history to recruiters?
So your work history, like just the work history. So pretty much like your profile to just recruiters?
Yes, that was the question.
Emily, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that we have that capability of just promoting your work history to recruiters. And I would love for someone to follow that with why we would want to do that, right? As I think from a recruiter standpoint, like I would want to show my work history with everyone, because whether or not Emily is a recruiter, like I may be in recruiting and Emily's not in recruiting. However, Emily may know of a position and may be able to refer me to another position. So I would want her to see my work experience, so that way she'll know like how I kind of fit into roles that come up. But if anyone wants to kind of respond again and tell me like why you may want to do that, I would love to hear it.
Yeah, while we wait for that, I do want to point out that a lot of times when someone connects with me and asks me for more information, the first thing I do is look at their profile, because I'm going to do two things. My rocker profile Emily brain is going to go, how can we help you get noticed a little bit more? Or if it's a perfect profile, I'm definitely going to call that out. But B, I'm going to look at your background to kind of think through my network and see what it is that I may be able to help you out with, right? Do I facilitate connections? Do you just want to learn from me? Where do we have commonalities and overlap where I can definitely add to your experience? Or who do I know within my network that may be able to add to your experience? But I'm also curious to know why, anyone would want to just share their profile simply with recruiters. I know that LinkedIn is a form of social media where stalking, doesn't work very well because we always surface who looked at your profile.
So privacy
right.
was the context that Beth added.
Got it.
So it's for privacy concern.
Got it. Okay. We don't have that feature. There are privacy settings that allow you to only share your profile with, and you can kind of reduce the audience that you want to share it with, but we can't hone in specifically on recruiters. Because sometimes recruiters are not the only people recruiting. Hiring managers sometimes do some recruiting.
All right, thank you for that. Seems like Beth got her response that she was looking for in that plethora of information. Another question is, how would you suggest, students are busy, people got a lot going on, no matter what you're involved with, clubs, Greek organizations, leading things. So how would you suggest tackling updating your profile? Any tips you provide in that area?
I would say to, one, think of it as a virtual representation of yourself. I know that a lot of people use other social media networks to highlight celebrations and accomplishments, but this is the place where you are highlighting amongst other professionals and is your virtual presence. So if you do so in real time, that reduces your, the time that you have to spend later in remembering, like, what impact did I have on that project? Or, I forgot to put this on my LinkedIn profile. So I would say do it in real time, because the little changes also, will help you remember some of the great things that you've done or that, we've celebrated together. So do it in real time. But if you don't, there's always an opportunity to do it later, and whatever works best for you is just that.
Absolutely. Just to add to that, if you're not able to do it in real time, keep a running list. I old school, I walk around with notebooks and I make notes, right? I saw a dress I like, I saw a color scheme, write it down, take a picture, save it. So if I did something, I'm like, maybe I want to update my LinkedIn profile with this, I write it down, carve out some time, right? You're super busy, you have organizations. The most important person to you is you, right? You want to build out this profile right now. You should be of utmost importance. Carve out 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes a week just to go into LinkedIn. Your profile is not static. It should be fluid. It should be a living organism. So just carve out time, think, what did I do this week? Make those notes and go in and plug it in.
Thank you for that. And we have about 30 seconds. So this next question, sorry, everybody, we couldn't get to all the questions. You all had amazing questions, but we have this, for this last question, I want you all to go 15 seconds each to respond. All right, since we're hit for time. Is it worth it to purchase LinkedIn Premium as a graduate student?
I'm going to start first, Emily, because I know you are about to give our whole corporate spill. So here's my 30 seconds, because I get this question all of the time. I say that LinkedIn Premium is great. However, it's only as great as you make it, because you have to take the time to use it and to benefit from its benefits that it has. So Emily's probably going to tell you about all the great things about LinkedIn Premium and why it's great. But I'm going to tell you, yes, it's really good to purchase if you're going to invest the time to use it.
Okay, I am not going to do that because I can't do that in 15 seconds. I will say this, LinkedIn Premium gives you more in-mail. Okay, maybe I'm going to do that. And it gives you access to LinkedIn Learning. But first thing you do, plug in your EDU and see if you already have access to LinkedIn Learning. Boom, that's money you don't have to spend if your school is already providing that for you. Premium gives you a little bit more data, right? Where are you in terms of applicants? Are you top 25? Are you top 10? It will give you that level of data. So think through whether or not that kind of information is worth it to you. But the biggest call out is that LinkedIn Learning piece. And you are able to get that for free if your school already provides it.
There you go. You all did it quick and fast. Appreciate it. So again, we couldn't get to all the questions. If you all have any questions that you still want answered, feel free to reach out to Brian or Emily, as their QR codes are right there. And then anything else, Brian and Emily, before we hand it off to National Black MBA and D?
No, thank you all for staying and listening to our presentation. We hope that you are going to utilize the tips and not just, listen to them.
Yeah, thank you guys. You guys are great. It's always great to do these presentations. Hope to connect with y'all soon.
Fill out the survey.
Oh, yep, and fill out the survey. Boom, the QR code is there as well. And let's pass it on to Paula.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. This was incredibly valuable information. So I don't know which one I appreciated more, the information or the vibe, but the both together was amazing. So thank you again, LinkedIn, for teaching us how to make the most of your platform. So during the introductions, I talked about the fact that we were gearing up for our conference and career fair. So just want to take a little time to tell you more about this in case you haven't registered. Definitely encourage you to do so right away. So September 14th through 18th, we will be in person in Chicago. We are having a hybrid conference, so there will be a digital aspect to our conference as well. Most of you as students will be most interested in the career fair portion. So that will take place on that Thursday and Friday in person in Chicago. And then that following week, the 21st and 22nd, is when we will have the digital career expo for you as well. If you come in person, you will have access to both. Make sure that you make the most of your LinkedIn profile, that you register, you apply to jobs so that you can hopefully get pre-screened so that you won't have to wait in those incredibly long lines. We are installing safety protocols. So if you come in person, we will utilize Clear Health. So you'll have to show either proof of a negative COVID test within 36 hours or proof of vaccine. So the team already talked about linked because we're talking about LinkedIn, but speaking of links, again, we encourage you to complete the link that you see there for the survey. The first 25 people to complete that link will be entered in a chance to win an Amazon gift card. So do not delay in registering and don't delay in filling out that survey. Thanks again to Team LinkedIn. Thank you all for your incredible time and for your talents. I hope to see you in a couple weeks in Chicago. And until then, take great care of yourselves. Good afternoon.
Thank you.